I have a lot of experience actually with picking up a puppy and then having to do the should I crate, should I not crate dance in my head.
And you had to crate right away too because you went on an airplane.
Yeah, I did the airplane with Ned. Reggie came from Virginia Beach, which was a 10-hour drive, so we had lots of time in the crate for that. He got across the border, and then at that point he was like, okay, I'm done with this crate thing, and he started squawking. And at that point my sister was driving, so I scooped him out of the crate. We snuggled the rest of the way. So I've been lucky that I've had good breeders that note that there's going to be a long drive. We're going to help tire this puppy out.
Right.
And then with Reggie, I actually did it in 2 trips. So we did the first leg, stayed overnight in a hotel, and then did the second leg the next day. So it wasn't quite as long of a drive in the crate because a long drive like that, it's a lot for a puppy.
It is.
And especially a puppy who's not used to a crate.
Right.
So the last thing I want to do.
And who's not used to holding their bowels and bladder either. They're, young puppies in the litter just stop and go wherever they feel like it.
Yeah, exactly. So I always make sure that I have a second driver when I'm picking up a puppy. If I can, I have a second driver, and that gives me the opportunity to nurture the puppy. Right. So if they're sleeping and relaxed, I'm of course going to leave them in the crate, make sure that the crate is nice and safe. If they wake up, I'm going to assess. Maybe I put my fingers through the bars of the crate and I say, hey, you're okay. Don't worry. Go back to sleep. And I see if the puppy will go back to sleep. And maybe I actually open the door and let them out and have a little snuggle to take the pressure off a little bit. I do want my dogs to ride safely in the car on a day-to-day basis. But sometimes you have to make exceptions to those rules, and this is a good time to make that exception, assuming that you have a second driver. I would put up with the screaming if I was solo.
Yes, I've driven home with a solo puppy. I've driven solo with a solo puppy. And I put the puppy in the crate and just listen to them scream. Yeah. Or I've driven home with a puppy when Ty was young and same thing.
Crates are definitely a benefit, and they'll keep the puppy contained and keep the puppy safe. Sometimes we need to make that little bit of an exception with our young puppies if we do let them out of the crate in the car so that they're not upset if we have a long drive home. But I want to make sure that everybody is very aware that even with a baby puppy who knows nothing about the crate yet, get a moment of silence before you let them out. Okay. So whatever that means, this is where our interruption techniques come in so handy. So if, for example, my puppy was in the crate screaming in the car and I thought, okay, you know what? I'm going to bring this puppy out for a little break and a little rest from this crate. What might you do to get a moment of silence before opening the door?
I might, rattle my car keys or tap on something, and that little bit of noise the puppy will stop and go, what's that? And then there's my moment to get that dog.
Yes,
exactly. And let them out. So often a noise startles them and they're quiet for a few moments.
Yeah, and it seems like a little thing, but it is immense because we don't want our puppies to learn or be reinforced for making noise. We don't want them to think that gets them out of the crate.
Right.
So if I did need to make that adjustment, I would do something like you just suggested, a little bit of an interruption technique, and then when you have that quiet moment, you can let them out of the crate at that point.